let's take a look how we could position items within our scene. So when I double click, one really handy thing is that I do see where it's positioned from the right and left corners of the wall. Then I have a position tab over here where I can do some quick positioning, such as send that item towards the left, towards the right, center it perfectly on my wall, and fill is to fill the space in between. So we don't want to do that right now because this cabinet will be the size of this wall. But if I had two other items in between and this was in between, then that would fill the space. Aside from this quick control options, we do have precise options where we could set the exact values that we want from this left wall to the edge of the cabinet. So to here, I can, let's say I want it at 55, enter, and we would see that happen. Same thing from the right to the edge of the cabinet. So this edge right here, right? Then I could set, let's say 23, and then that would take it exactly 23. I can switch the measuring point to have it to the center of the cabinet. And you could immediately see that the 23 that was here turned into 32 because it did 23 plus 9 to find the center position right over here. So I can now use the two fields here to measure the center of the cabinet to the two extremities. If I double click on a upper cabinet, same thing except few other options that are there to position it top and to the bottom, right? So aside from the left and right, we got the top position and the bottom position. So let's say if I want to put here, I want to always make sure that I got the correct options. It'll always remember the last choice that you've set here. So previously I had set it to center, so that's why we saw that that was checked over here. I brought it back to edge, and here I can say, let's say 5 inches from the top of the wall. And now it shows me that it is at 61 inches to the bottom of this cabinet, to the floor. Okay. This little quick adjust button aligns the upper cabinets perfectly with your tall cabinets. Okay, so if when you're dragging and dropping your very first cabinet, you don't have anything to have it snap to, so you may want to use that button to position it to your standard, and it looks at the settings in your cabinets and looks at the 93 for the tall cabinets and make sure that it aligns it with that. So for example, your tall cabinets are 93, my walls are at 96, so there's a 3-inch difference. That's where we're seeing this 3-inch. And for other items that then I drag and drop, we don't really need to worry about that because the moment they come close to one another, they would snap immediately next to it, so I'm good to go. And if I were to come and take a look at my upper cabinets, now we would see, of course, that they do align in height. Okay, and this is at 93 as they were set in my cabinet settings. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of how to position items in the scene. One last thing I would want to look at is if I were to take any items that are on the floor, and now we would have the additional options like we saw on the wall, but backwards and forward. And once again, keep in mind, this is to the edges of the item that we are looking at. So it is from here to the back and from the front to forward. Those are what these options show us over here. And also we do have the ability to set a rotation, which we did not have that when we were on the wall because it is following the same rotation as the wall in that case. But here we can set manually the rotation, or we can use this green and white circle to just move left or right. You don't have to follow the not necessary to do the circular motion, but it's pretty sensitive, so you can just go towards the left or towards the right with your mouse button, with your cursor, to get the exact, and you see that it does snap at every 15 degrees or so, so you'd be able to really get close to what you need. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you, and see you in the next video.